Max, listen to this. Sebastian, Tony, even though you embrace the tank, are you not worried about the compete level shown in the recent losses? It's one thing to lose, but it's how you lose too. No, I'm not worried at all. No, I'm not worried at all. And anyone who's worried about a losing culture in the last 40 games of the year, pardon me, or whatever it is, and doesn't see the long-term benefits of a Connor Bedard, of what he could bring to your organization for at least 10 years, has to be stupid. Yeah. I'm sorry. Am I worried about the way they're losing? What do you mean about the way they're losing? They have 5 young players on defense. It's only normal. They're not going to win that many games. They have Jake Allen and Samuel Montembeault. They're good goaltenders, but they're not great goaltenders, so they're going to lose games. They have a coaching staff that's okay. It's not great, so they're going to lose games. By the way, they just gave up another one. It's a beautiful thing. They're down by a score of 6-2. And they have a bunch of guys who know that they're going to get traded either on trade deadline day or within a couple of days before that. It's only normal they're going to give up goals. It's only normal they're going to lose games. I don't care. Look, here's the deal. The Montreal Canadiens, how many players do they have that are actually going to be here in the next couple of years? How many do they have at the forward position? Suzuki, Caulfield, Slafkovsky, and Doc? Who else? Everyone else is replaceable. I think what's happening is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
There are two things with what you just said. When you say the people who talk about teams who drafted really high who do not win cups, and the way of losing is the way you phrased it. Do you remember how many points the Avalanche had in 2015 or 16? I think it was 48.
Yes.
McKinnon was there already. I think McCarr is the only one from the core who wasn't there already. They were historically bad.
Terrible.
One of the worst seasons of the last 25 years, and they won last year. So that doesn't scare me at all if you have strong management. Second thing, it's even less scary when you consider that whoever they draft, if it's Connor Bedard, we will be really, really happy. If it's Adam Fantilli, if it's Michkov, if it's what's his name, Carlson, the Swedish, who is pretty impressive.
I like him, by the way. I like him. I think out of all the draft-eligible players in 2005, after Bedard, the one that's made the most favorable impression, I believe anyway, from what I've seen at the World Juniors, is Carlson.
The Habs this year are in a position that is advantageous. Is that a word in English?
Yes, it is.
Excuse my English.
Avantageux, mon chum.
They are in a very advantageous position, which is similar to where Pittsburgh were when they drafted Sid and where the Leafs were when they drafted Matthews. What I mean by this is the Pittsburgh Penguins missed the playoff 1 year after they drafted Crosby because they already had Malkin. He was not there yet, but he was in the organization. He was drafted. They had Fleury. They were going to draft Jordan Staal. Le Tendre was drafted the same year. They were near the end, and they got the generational player. The Toronto Maple Leafs
4 years
already...
after they drafted him, they won the cup.
Yeah, this is the best example because it's Sid and great management led by Mario Lemieux, of course. The Toronto Maple Leafs, yes, they choke in the playoff, but Austin Matthews was the last piece of the puzzle to get out of the reset, the rebuild, call it whatever you want. They already had Marner. They already had Willie. They already had Morgan Riley. The Habs, I think, might not be in the exact same position, but they're in a similar one.
If I can, and it's not to say that Toronto's not going to win a cup, because I believe that they will win a cup at some point. Okay, that's what I believe. I could be wrong, all right? Toronto made a mistake, in my opinion, all right? They had a plan, like Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon has a plan. And then they saw that John Tavares went to unrestricted free agency. Yeah. They got overly excited. They deviated from their plan, and they went all in with John Tavares. In my opinion, it was a mistake.
I agree.
They still may be able to win, but they made a mistake throughout the process. It's up to the Canadiens to not deviate from the plan and not make a mistake. Having said that, I will say this. If the Canadiens finish in the bottom 3 or 4 there, and they go out and they win that draft lottery, and they draft Connor Bedard, the rebuild is over. You can start putting together the pieces to your team. It's over the rebuild. I'm Marinaro, and that clip you just watched is from our most recent episode of the Sick Podcast. Once again, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free, and you'll be notified when we go live. I'm Marinaro. Tell your friends about it. This podcast, like me, is pretty sick.